Just saw a pair of bullfinch. So today is a very different day. I was kind of blissed out in my last walk in the Belfast hills, and today is just muggy. Oh, there's thunder predicted at some stage today or tomorrow. The flies are pounding me. It feels like being back in Southeast Asia. Oh, in these kind of conditions, I can get irritable. Wee things that bug you that would normally bug you, like one of my straps slipping in this backpack. Anyway, it's good to know what state of mind you're in and have some inkling as to why you're in that state. It helps in relationships with other people so that you don't take your shit out on them. And yeah. But it's still good to be out. So today I came armed with my fold-up litter picker, which I got on eBay for about 10 quid about 2 years ago. So brought it back out today. Clean this place up. Yep. So I totally get those Australian hats with the corks on them. I now know their purpose. Might have to make one. I'm in a different part of the Belfast hills. I've come around the back to close to where the entrance on the Upper High Town Road is. And an area called, I think it's Ballyaghagan, but I'm pronouncing that wrong. Yeah, I'm sure there's a different pronunciation of that, but it looks like Ballyaghagan. But there's an old Iron Age ring fort, the remnants of. I'm just coming up to that now. Yeah, I definitely did pronounce it wrong because it's not even spelled the way it was in my head. O'Hagan's Townland. Oh aye, that's the highwayman, the O'Hagans. It became the Hawkins. Yes, they were the cattle rustlers and all. Fascinating. I love that story about them. Oh yes, so it's not Iron Age. So they reckon it was probably built, what we see now is somewhere between the 6th and the 9th century AD, but possibly and probably is built on top of a site from as early as the Neolithic period, which is often the case with these hill forts and such. So you can see the enclosure, circular enclosure. But what a location. So not even that high up, but the views from here are great. And there's Squires Hill there, beautiful hawthorn. Birds are chirping. Wonderful little spot. So even if you didn't have the fitness to get up to the top of Cavehill over this way, this would be a great spot to come and just enjoy the view. Bring a wee seat, bring your binoculars. half-inch. I know that call because it sounds like a tick. It sort of descends and then has that wee lift at the end. So it's actually really hard for me to make out the colours of that bird, so I'm only recognising it from the call because it's so overcast and it's kind of backlit. This is actually a part that's not really much used. There's a bit of litter. Most people stick to the main trail to get up to the top of Cavehill, Ballyaghagan, McArt's Fort, and so it's quite nice getting off these on the wee side trails, which are less frequented, and they're actually just absolutely beautiful. Just the wildflowers and birdsong. I'm actually checking out a part that I've sort of checked out years ago. I used to live quite nearer here anyway. Probably about 10 years ago, more than that, 12 years ago. And I did have a little excursion into this part, but I intend to explore it a bit further today. Which way? This way? This trail is class. Best parts, it seems like it's so overgrown that you're not meant to, or that you can't get past, but it opens up and reassures you again. Woo! Through the gorse. This is like rabbit land. Maybe see some bunny rabbits. So yeah, that feeling of irritability has passed. And the flies aren't as bad up here. It's famous last words. Bit more of a breeze. And actually just doing things like picking up litter, like shift whatever the state of mind is that I'm in. So that makes me feel better. I've done something good. And then seeing the views here, and yeah, and even doing these wee videos, it's sort of loosened me up, and yeah, I don't really feel the irritability, and I'm really glad it came out again. Yesterday was mostly lost to a hangover. I hate to say, but it's true, sad but true. And today could nearly also have got lost to a hangover. But I think I saw a wee black cap. This is a wee African warbler, although some do actually stay here all year, but no, it's not a black cap. Who are you? Show yourself. That's a great tit. Looks quite young. Right, is that or is that not heath milkwort? I think that's a different one, you know. If you saw that last video from Glas-na-Bradan, you'll have seen some heath milkwort. And this is very similar, but I don't think it's the same. It doesn't have those wee distinctive tufts on it. But it's bound to be part of that same family, the milkworts. Lovely. That's a lovely little flower. There's a teeny weeny little orchid at the beginning of its life. So pretty. Common orchid. Absolutely gorgeous wildflower meadow here. You can see some self-heal maybe. What's this? I think that's self-heal. Awesome. This is one of my favourites. Ragged robin. Looking quite ragged. Oh, there's a heron. Hello, heron. Where you going? Damn it, I think I'm all steamed up. Can actually hear some of that gorse crackling in the heat. I did actually see a wee bunny rabbit just scurried into the undergrowth there. But this is definitely a wee spot for rabbits. I'll try and keep my eyes peeled, get one video. Oh, I heard goldcrest, that's what it was. I love it when I find new parts, new paths, new trails that I've never walked, and I believe this is one of them, in an area that I've spent a lot of time in my life, especially over the past 10 years. So nice to find these hidden bits, the unexplored bits. Medic! Looks like somebody messed up getting past the barbed wire there. Whoops. One of my faves, that's the knapweed, starting to come up. Gorgeous. Makes me think of Scotland. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna recommend on YouTube, Belfast Hills Partnership have a YouTube channel, and there's some brilliant talks. Jim Bradley, who helped me ID the Heath Milkwort, works with Belfast Hills Partnership, and he's quite often the person doing the talks or having the conversations, and it's very interesting and educational and insightful. It's a great resource. I partly wish they did more. Is that, you know, knowing an area, having an area like this so close to home, and being able to spend so much time in it, and you just can get such a deeper understanding of the place, the history, the people that have lived in the hills, like even O'Hagans and the cattle rustlers back in the sort of 17th, 18th centuries, and it just gives you a whole different way of engaging with it. I actually they had a course for training people to be tour guides for the Belfast Hills several years ago that I completed. Got my wee certificate. Didn't do anything with it. This is as close to me doing anything with that course is sharing videos about the Belfast Hills. Wasn't a total waste. Oh, there's wee bullfinch. The day's a bullfinch day, and he's on. So I've never been in this little bit of forest. Time to explore. And if the guy who didn't survive the barbed wire found this actual crossing point, he wouldn't have lost so much blood. Oh, it's cool. Amazing. Oh wow, this is fantastic. Magical. Going through the dark forest. I will encourage you to get one of those wee folding litter pickers. Become an army of litter pickers. But I think the key is not focusing on the negative, on asking like why do people do this, or you know, torturing yourselves with what if and wishing it to be better than it is. And I think this is true for many things in life. We can complain about it. We can focus on the negative and focus on the hating people for doing these things. But that just adds to the darkness. And I think it's good just to focus on the positives. You know, get a litter picker, make a change, be a positive change. Don't just complain about it. Make it better. And feels good, you know, to make the place more beautiful and to be out in nature and enjoying that. And you get also like the smiles you get too from other people that appreciate that what you're doing. It's nice that it can create an interaction that you might otherwise not get. I think I got hit by a moth. Yeah, just focus on the light. don't complain, make positive change. I love, one of my favourite things is when you see moss like that, or lichen, just hanging off the tree branches in a forest. Makes it feel old and otherworldly. God, you can probably hear the flies behind me. Okay, I found one of the trails. Love this wee flower. Forget me not, 'cause I belong to you until my dying day. A song from what film? Yes, so this is the actual trail. Takes you up in between Collamore and Cavehill. And again, this is just wonderful. Like this area just tucked in between these two hills, and it's kind of a valley, but it's got its own energy, and it's sort of brimming with the anticipation of seeing kestrels, stone chats, because we're in the uplands and it's such a unvisited kind of spot. It's like nothing really disturbing the wildlife. Just surrounded by this bird song. It's incredible. I should have brought my chair to sit down. Well, I think I'm going to sit down somewhere, drink some water, and enjoy this. And that is definitely a member of that hawkbit family, but I think there's so many varieties of them and I think this is a particular variety, different from the one I saw the other day. More tightly compacted, smaller radius. I love it whenever I actually start walking slow and just walking slow enough that I can hear and listen and really be here. So I have a tendency to do a bit of marching, get the march on. It's probably easier for me to be doing things and like picking up litter and achieving things, and so it's good for me to be aware of that and try and factor in time out from that, to rest, play, even so yes, not everybody's wired the way I'm wired, and actually my girlfriend is more of a sloth, but has taught me a lot more about like actually relaxing and not doing anything, and enjoying lying on the sofa. It's like I've always had this, maybe it's ego, a need to, who knows where it comes from. It could actually be like a need to justify myself, like, which may actually fundamentally be a feeling of low value, low self-worth, and that I have to prove myself or achieve things in order to feel okay with myself. So it's interesting to become mindful of the states of being we're in, and just have a little hook and a poke and look under the carpets and see where those things, where the energy for them is, because I can go from just feeling irritated, becoming mindful of that, and you can start doing like detective work and you're like, oh, so that came from that, and there was a wee thought in my head earlier on that I wasn't really processing, and that led to so it could be quite interesting. Yeah, I can hear another grasshopper warbler again. And that's actually in the back of Cavehill. grasshopper warbler sounds a wee bit like a wren whenever the wren, and it has this wee trill, but it's only a little bit at the end. But this is almost like a wren's got stuck at that part. It just goes on. Who's that? Wee doing behind me somewhere. Now, without actually knowing what that is, I would almost think that's a pipit, just because the call sounds pipit, pipit. Oh. I think I might have saw a kestrel over by the quarry. And I did actually bring my binoculars this time. These are a pair I got. I used to have this pair of like Nikon ones, really like they're 150 quid's worth. And they were really heavy and bulky, and I was always reluctant to bring them out because I was bringing all my camera gear with me as well. It was so heavy, and I just actually picked these up in Decathlon for 30 quid, 35 quid, and they're actually great, and they're super lightweight. So I don't resent bringing them with me. So yeah, might actually get to see what some of these wee doings are. Two big wild mountain thyme, all around the blooming heather, will you go, lassie, go? And I think this is colt's foot, which I imagine is probably a member of the hawkbit kind of family. And it creates these lovely wee fluffy balls. Sounds like somebody strangling a cat in that hawthorn over there. But I'm imagining it's just a family of young hooded crows. There's an adult hooded crow flying around. What a god-awful noise. The beauty of nature. Hear the wee lark. It's like non-stop. It's like one of those bird calls that when I first hear it at the beginning of the season, it's like, oh, lovely lark. But it's also, Jesus. Just, you alright over there? Do you need some help? So yeah, it's just, so even with the lark call, it's like, first time you hear it, you're like, oh yeah, that's beautiful. But it goes on and on and on and on. And so like people think about going out and getting the peace and quiet in nature. If you're surrounded by song larks, it's not going to be peace and quiet. It's not going to be already anticipated. That is a female stone chat with a wee bug in its mouth. I think these must be some sort of wee special mountain daisy. Member of the Aspa family. Yeah, like a daisy, but teeny. There's the kestrel. Oh, hovering. meadow pipit and grasshopper warbler behind me. You might not hear because I think it's a bit windier. Pipit, pipit. And I think that is meadow sweet. It kind of looks like elderflower, but not in a bush. I love being up here, and it's like being in the Mourne Mountains or something. It's the same as being in the uplands and following little trails, and especially when you're off the like sort of gravel trails and seeing the orchids and the flowers that remind you that you're in the uplands, and it's something really special about it. And to be so close to home without having to go to the Mourne Mountains for that part of the experience. Just the wildlife as well. It's a bit more of a wind on this side, so probably a bit noisy on the mic. It's got a bit cooler, which is nice after that mugginess. All downhill now. Then we get a bus back home. It's been wonderful. A wonderful wee saunter.